Yep, thank you for that. So, my name is Deepak. I'm a senior partner solution consultant at Workato, and I take care of the partners and alliances side of the business. Mostly work with the GSIs. With a quick intro about myself, I'd like to start off with what Workato is all about. Now, Workato was founded back in 2013, right? And it was founded by the leaders from Oracle, TIBCO, Splunk, and other major tech giants who are literally the founders of the middleware technology as it stands today, right? For some reason, the clicker is not working. Give me a quick minute, please. Oh. All right, one more technical glitch. Nothing new. That should do. All right, fantastic. Yeah, here we are. Like I said, it was founded by the leaders who literally invented the middleware space. And it was invented with a vision that back in the days, the ESBs, when they were there, that was doing the middleware job, was not supposed to just be ESBs. It was to push the boundaries beyond of what a complex, opaque setup was back in the day, right? The key insight was to push the boundaries of enterprise software to prioritize the expert experience and the usability, along with sustaining the power and the seamlessness that it offers. And over the past decade or so, we have grown from one customer that we started off to more than 12,000 plus customers. And that proves to the point where the usability and the experience really matters, right? I remember a couple of our speakers earlier who are the AWS heroes mentioning the same thing, that the experience, the seamlessness is what matters the most, regardless if you're a developer or a customer or a business user or just a project manager, right? Now, Workato has been a leader in the Magic Quadrant of Gartner for the iPaaS, and it's been ranked #1 for its vision, right, to infuse AI into every single workflow that you do. And AI, I know that the ML and AI has been there for past 2 decades or so, or even before that, but very niche, very limited to certain kind of industries, such as research and PhDs that we're doing in the very niche sector, I would say. But our founders thought, let us build a platform that serves the future and not just solve today's problem. At the same time, you don't need to sacrifice the speed at which you build, right? The complexity also adds to the reduction in speed. Now, let me not just stop there. Let me also tell you that Workato has been recognized as the only customer voice vendor or choice vendor in another Gartner's very, I would say, this is a very important survey, if you ask me, that Gartner conducts. It's to understand what the customers say about you. When I say customer experience, one of you tell me, what usually comes into your mind? When I say customer experience, as a customer, what do you think is important for you? Somebody? Your experience with whatever the product that you're using? When I say iPhone or any Apple product, what does come to your mind? Has anybody experienced issues with your iPhones or MacBooks? If you are a user one. No? I have experienced it. I, in fact, started off with one of the companies that outsourced Apple's technical support. I used to be a technical support representative earlier in my early days in my career, and I worked for Apple. You know what Apple's theory was, and their philosophy was that if I want to become #1, let me give customers what they want and not what I invent. And that experience is what made Apple what it is today. They have been #1 for almost 12, 13 years now in terms of customer satisfaction and the technical support that they provide to their customers. I think when Vijay started off, along with other co-founders, Workato, I think that's what his philosophy was as well. Vijay Tella is our CEO, also the founder, and he always keeps telling us that, whatever you do, there are 3 important things: customer, customer, and customer. And we all go by that philosophy at Workato. Now let me talk about what Workato is. This is Workato 1. This is the platform where AI gets to work. And it's not just any other agentic or an AI tool. This actually promises your AI promises or produces your AI promises into production. I know Vivek talked about how many of you have successfully developed an agent and did a production deployment of it. Now, what you are going to see, or rather, I want to call out is, now with Workato, instead of writing all those complex codes, you can do it by writing a flowchart. It is as simple as that. And in fact, many times it's much simpler than writing a flowchart as well, right? Now, Workato is powered by the Workato Orchestrate. And Workato Orchestrate enables you to build complex workflows across systems and your enterprise. Workato Agentic is the place where you turn your copilot into your operator, into your personal assistant, not just to answer, but also do tasks on your behalf. And to take it to the next level, Workato Go is that particular platform that enables enterprise search with the deep action, which means from the single interface of a website, your employees can perform all their tedious tasks. And we'll talk more about it in the coming slides. And all of this is built on the power of connecting to more than 10,000 plus applications, regardless of how those applications are architectured and built and where they are hosted. But you might have heard a couple of other applications doing the same thing, platforms doing the same thing. Could be Zapier or N8N or Dell Boomi. How is it different, right? How is Workato different? What makes it different? It's the true enterprise orchestration. Now, the true enterprise orchestration doesn't simply mean that it is just APIs or NCPs or maybe even the data structure as well. Oh, what happened? Wow, my screen got locked. Is this right? No. Oh, yeah, here? Okay. Now, what true enterprise orchestration means is the transactionability. Every transaction that hits your middleware or an integration build should be processed in the sequence that it was delivered, and it should not be repeated, right? There should not be any duplication of the tasks or the jobs that are executed. And every action completes or rolls back to its original state when needed without having you to do it manually. The runtime authentication and the roles-based access control systems that maintains the compliance automatically for you, and you don't have to build the guardrails by yourself as a developer or an architect or a solution architect. And let it be whether it's event-driven or batch or real-time triggers, the platform should be able to support any integration pattern and style that you choose to implement. Now, that's true enterprise orchestration powered by more than 1 million skills. When I say skills, these are the skills that are going to power your agents for them to do their jobs. The other term for the skill is, I think, tools in the general world of the AI and the agents, right? All of this powered by more than 1 million skills, which are production tested for business agility and not just another API call, right? When an agent needs to process a return, it does not just update a field in another application, but it completes your proven business logic and your business needs to the fullest and does that wall-to-wall integration and the business process completion. So let me show you each component that powers this platform. Now, the first one here is the Workato Orchestrate. Like I said, this is an AI-infused automation platform that monitors your workflows, learns through the telemetry data, and becomes smart every time a job runs, right? It brings in the human collaboration with your system operation. Let's consider that you have a very complex system or a business process where maybe a simple one is that I want to book a time off, right? If this is a business process. Employees all across the world book time offs. Now, if you want to book a time off, maybe you can just do it without approval if it's a sick day, right? I don't want to ask you a question as a manager if you're taking a sick leave. But if you want to approve a bill worth $50,000, do you think I'll just let you do it? No, right? There should be some checks and places where somebody goes and reviews actually what's happening, why the $50,000 bill for a particular invoice that you're approving. So that's where the human comes into the picture and collaborates with your system action. And what Workato Orchestrate enables all of these complex activities with where the work meets the speed, power, and the scale, right? And what do you mean by scale? In general, the scale is ability to perform the task at the same speed and the same power when you see actually spikes in your processing. Or scale in other terms, this is just the performance side of things, right? The scale is other thing in scale is if you are a small business of 10 employees, or if you're an enterprise like DXC with 1 million plus employees worldwide, the workflow that you build will function at the same level regardless if it's 10 or 1 million plus. So that is scale. Now 44% of the workflows that are built on Workato are by the business people, let me tell you, right? These are citizen integrators. And it can scale not just with your IT people, it can scale with your business. Oh, wow. Have I not put it on the slide mode? I think I have, right? Okay. And what's power here, right? Power is all about deep integration and Gen AI orchestration. Now, there is a difference between, most of the people get confused. I used to get confused about what Gen AI and what agentic AI is, right? Generative AIs, it could be a means for your agentic AI. It could be one of the tools or ways that you can make your agents work. But generative AI is not just, or it's not everything, right? Generative AI is just a part of subset of the AI world, but the entire world is going towards that now, along with agentic as an approach to make the generative AI work in the way your business is needed. So how does it all work? What do you need for it to work? All that is covered or powered is by all those 10,000 applications that are supported within Workato using those pre-built connectors, over 8,600 plus of them. Now, with Workato Agentic, what we bring in is the ability to meet the IT requirements as well. I know you can build an agent. We saw Vivek build an agent so soon, so fast, using the agent strands. You can deploy it, right? You have ready-made tools available for you to deploy. But is that all there is for enterprise orchestration? I don't think so. IT has its own need for governance and risk and compliance. You have to meet and true agentic enterprise orchestration needs for the secure, compliant, and governed systems to be deployed in your system. And that's where Workato is a clear differentiator from the other players in the market. All of this comes pre-built for you, and as a developer or an architect, you don't have to worry, how do I guardrail my systems from being hacked, right? It's all built in because Workato is built by truly 100% on AWS. It's cloud native by nature. So all the security, all the safety features that AWS offers, plus Workato's patented some of the auth mechanisms that I'm going to talk about later are built into the product, which means you can seamlessly start delivering the projects that you want, build automations and integrations that you want, without having to worrying about the compliance and governance and the risks that come with the enterprise orchestration, right? And these agents that you build on Workato, they are deployed where the work actually happens. They are not deployed anywhere else. It's deployed where the work happens. Now, most of the working people, what I've seen in the organizations, what do we use the most to talk to people, to collaborate? Slack, Teams, right? Those are the tools that we use to talk to each other across the company, across the globe. So what we do is you can infuse your agents into these applications. So you don't need to build a custom chat interface for it, right? Along with that, let's go next step, Workato Go. this is a game changer. Workato Go is another means as to how your agents can be exposed to your entire organization. But how many of you have heard of enterprise search? Do you understand what enterprise search is? Enterprise search is, for example, it's a Wikipedia for your enterprise, right? It's like Glean. Glean is an application. They are the market leaders in enterprise search. Now, what Workato Go does is it takes it to the next level. It, along with searching something, it lets you take action on it. I'll give you an example. So I have Casey, who is a sales representative, right? And she says, I'm getting on a call, and she's trying to get on with prospect call, and she does not know, she has not done her research yet. And it takes a lot of effort. Believe me, SDR job is not easy, especially the outbound, right? So you have to do a lot of research if you want to make that impact with your prospects and customers. So easily she would spend, 2 hours, 3 hours doing all the research and then custom making that slide presentation that she's going to present to the prospect. What Workato Go helps you do is it understands when she says, okay, XYZ is my prospect and tell me more about it. Workato Go searches all the possible things, even connects the cloud data from LinkedIn to scan through the information about the prospect, understands the prospect's organization, what is the role that the prospect has, the point of contact has in their organization. Accordingly, it also generates a custom-made slide deck presentation, right? I could have easily made all of this prep using Workato Go, to be honest with you. We have implemented this at Workato. Our own sales development representatives use it. They are hitting crushing numbers like anything. The last quarter, I could see at least out of 10, 8 of them reached their 200% quota for the quarter already with 1 month to go. So that's the power the Workato Go brings, where you can take action and not just search for information. And to top it all of it is the next thing, that's the entire platform, that's Workato One. Right? Workato One, as I said, it's the 7-time leader in the Gartner's Magic Quadrant for iPaaS, and it connects to over 10,000 applications, all without compromising on the security compliance as well as the risk associated with the cloud computing as well as the integration space. 50% of the Fortune 500 companies use Workato for their critical integration and automation needs, which means 250 out of 500 Fortune 500 customers or rather companies are Workato customers today, right? So to name some of the few big customers are PwC, DXC Technologies, right? How many of us watch a lot of movie or play games? Maybe I have a younger crowd here. How many of you have played League of Legends? You have? Right, great. So League of Legends, it's developed by a company called Riot Games, which I'm going to talk more about later as an example. The Riot Games are also Workato customers, right? It is not just one industry or one particular vertical that is powered by Workato today across the globe. You name the industry, healthcare, finance, revenue, or if it's banking, or if it's just pure IT or services-based companies, they use Workato today to power their automations and crush through those difficult hours. And whatever hours that they are left with, they do much more important job of actually, delivering value to the customers, to their own customers, than just doing the tedious manual jobs repetitively. Now, oh wow, it just shows I have a little over 8 minutes to complete. I didn't think I would be talking so much. Okay, so let me quickly talk about our partnership with AWS. We are a strategic partner with AWS. We are also a high-growth customer of AWS themselves. Like I said, we are completely hosted on AWS, which means it comes with a guarantee of availability of how many of you understand the term multiple AZs, availability zones? Okay, when it comes to, oh, you do? Okay, fantastic. Well, fantastic, thank you. So availability zones are your way of deploying your product into multiple, when you say multiple availability zones is that, multiple AZs is that, you have the same instance of your product running in multiple data centers. When one data center, the entire data center goes down, you still have at least 2 or 3 more data centers to take over all the job that is left out, ensuring that you have uptime of the maximum possible time, right? Now, Workato has 99.99% uptime from the past 6 years. It has not gone down below that number till date. And it is zero downtime in terms of upgrades. Why? Because we are on AWS. We use containers to release our upgrades. And the upgrades are not managed by the customers. It's managed by Workato, right? So have you ever come across even a SaaS product where Workday, Salesforce, or even Talent or SuccessFactors for that matter, have you seen where, all the seniors in the room here, have you seen where there is zero downtime for your applications to upgrade? Every quarter, there is some time where you have to take your application down, do the upgrade, do the entire quality check, right? Do the entire regression check after you do the production deployment, you do the production smoke testing, all of that is taken away from you if you use Workato for building your automations, right? So that's the value add that the product brings to you. And how is this made possible? With the help of AWS. That's what AWS provides to you as a service provider, at least for Workato. And they have made the best use of it. And I've never loved the product more than this. Let me tell you, I'm a textile engineer by academics. I'm not a data scientist. I'm not a computer science graduate. I'm a textile engineer. And I've understood how the middleware works and how this entire business of the automations, the robotic process, or it could be different architectural styles, where it's wall-to-wall integration that you need to build, all of it powered just by Workato. This is the only platform that I've worked on. And today I'm standing here delivering a speech about what Workato is and how the technology works, just because it's that easy to use. You don't have to be a data scientist or an integration engineer or a computer science engineer or an information science engineer for you to build automations. That's what the power that Workato brings to you. As a business, let's say if you have clients as business users, or if you want to make a difference as an employee to your organization, you can do it without having to worrying about coding hundreds of tens of lines, right? This is just pure plug-and-play, no-code, low-code platform that you have in front of you. I'll show you a quick demo of what Workato Go is very shortly, right? So this is Riot Games, the League of Legends that I was talking about. They had this issue where their digital media publication team had a major challenge. Some of the times, their code would just sink in, the malicious code would just, or maybe faulty code, would just sink into the production game data, and then the actual live production game would be faulty. Can you imagine League of Legends is being played over 10 million people across the globe? It's not a small game. And there are multiple other games which are equally good and being consumed by the users across the globe. All the major esports competitions happen using one of these game characters, right? So can you imagine the impact that it might have on their reputation when they have a faulty code and the game just gets stuck in between a tournament, an esports tournament, right? So it's a major problem that they had. So what they came up with, and also the problem was that whenever the code was deployed, their arts team did not know anything at all. The people who actually came up with the game, right? Their arts team, they are creating all of these fantastic pictures, characters, animations, and all of it. They did not know what kind of code is getting into production, and they did not even know whether it was approved or reviewed before it was deployed, right? So along with AWS as one of the services that they used, and with Workato, they built an intelligent automation that necessarily takes the on-premise, the physical data of the code build, posts it into S3, uploads all of that data there. It keeps the art system or arts team in the loop by sending out real-time notifications as to where the code is right now. Is it being reviewed? Is it been approved? Is it pushed to production? And all of it done with Workato, right? And do you know how long it took for them to build this complex workflow? It's not easy. It just looks maybe 5 or 6 dots connected there. But it's not easy, let me tell you. If you do it in a traditional way, it might easily take you 2 to 3 months to build if you're an expert in coding and if you're an expert solution architect. But with Workato, they did it in 3 weeks. They went production live in 3 weeks with this build. And they have built numerous more, 20, 30 more builds using Workato today that's powering not just one single team that started off with, but across the enterprise. So let's go do the demo then, right? I hope they smile upon us. They don't cause the same issue that they caused the others in the past. Yeah. So this is how the Workato Go window looks like. Pretty much looks like maybe if you've worked with Gemini or any other chat tool or ChatGPT, the look and feel may be different a little bit, but similar, you might think, right? Now, what I want to do here is, I want to show you how to interact with an agent using this, right? I have a story of a new employee that has joined an organization. You might have all started a new job at least once in your life. That's why you are here, right, today, to understand more as developers or as architects or any other kind of technology that you work on or the job that you do. Whenever you join a job, you are provided with set skill sets and the tools that you can use, along with your skill set that's here, right? You need something to work with, maybe a laptop. And after the laptop, it could be what? Google account, a Gmail account, chat, maybe Slack, maybe Jira in case you're into support or project management, right? So how many times have you felt that I wish I knew what are all the applications I need access to without going through the employee handbook, which is 1,000 pages, right? So let's see what happens. So I'll just say hello, Ben. I'll just say hello. I'll say hello to Go. Hello, Go. Very rhetoric, right? So it just says, okay, yeah, I'm working. I'm your IT assistant. How can I help you today, right? So all of this was coded in Vivek's build, right? He had to execute 3 set of lines, 4 set of lines, and then there was this tool that he imported which had about 100 different lines for the tool to work. Now I'll show you how this works in the backend on Workato, right? I just say need access to Confluence. Now, for the demo purposes, I've already set up all of this connection in the background. If you were to build this, if you're new to the product, I think you might take about 4 hours to build this. So anybody who is expert with the product, someone like Sham who's sitting at the back there, my dear friend, he would do it in like 10 minutes, right? Okay. Wow, it already gave me a response before I completed my statement. It says I already have access to all of these applications, right? Is there something else that I want access to? It gave me additional information of all that's already configured. All the apps that I can get my hands on, right? I'm very greedy. And I make some spelling mistakes intentionally so that I want to check if it can actually understand the context, regardless of there's a spelling mistake or not. And you can see here in the background, this is the transactionality and observability that I was calling out about, is that, what's happening in the background? It's executing a tool. What you're seeing here, Deepak M IT Genie, and then it's writing a response, SK001, get your user app access. Those are the tools that are there, right? And then you can see here, these are the applications I have access to and I don't have access to. Get me Salesforce access, right? It just goes on to work to provision the application, right? There you go. It's again checking where all the user applications that I have access to. And then it goes on to provision the application as well. I hope it does execute. Yeah, there you go. It just gave me a heart attack for a minute there, maybe a few seconds. Right? And now it would come back to tell me that, hey, your Salesforce access has been granted and go start using it. Now, how do you make it much more intelligent? You might want to think that, okay, you got access to Salesforce, but how about access to Jira Service Desk? You might not get it because it needs additional approval, right? You can bring in all of that logic, business logic, and your business needs into the workflows that are the skills that you create using Workato. Let's take a quick look of the platform itself. Now, anytime you land into Workato as a platform, this is how the view would be, right? And on the left-hand side, this is the place where everything happens. This is the hub, and then these are the projects that are there. The AI hub is the quite interesting one. That's where the Workato Go sits. Now, my Genie is the agent. At Workato, we call agents as the genie. I know somebody else copied us very recently. I think it was Google. So yeah. So they started calling their agents as genie. Okay, so Workato Go. Workato Go, I've defined my website here as to where the users should interact with the enterprise search and deep action. That's the Workato Go. And then I told you about the role-based real-time authentication that happens every single time anybody who gets access to your applications, right? This is where you manage who has access and who do not. And you define what level of access they have, right? And then let's go back to genies here. My agent, that's the genie, is powered by the skills and the knowledge bases. As you can see here on the screen. So I have two skills. One is to get the user applications. The other one is to provision. Now I can add out of those 1 million skills that are there, the readily available ones, I can simply use any of them to be part of these skills set here, right? And the best part is, if you want to ground your AI agent to not to look for public data and have enterprise context all the time, of all the conversations that we had, the presentations we had, they all talked about one thing, that's the grounding, right? That's very much important in terms of how your AI agents work and how you should not let go the reins of your horses of the agents, right? It's very much important to hold those reins in your hands, in your control, and let it not wander off and do whatever it wants to. You can do that by creating these knowledge bases, and knowledge bases are simply your vector DBs under the hood, where your enterprise context information the source could be, here it's the S3, it could be a Google Drive, it could be a Confluence page, or it could be your emails as well to a certain inbox, right? You can make all of it, convert all of it into vector embeddings and store it in the vector database. All of this where you are not doing anything but to create one simple recipe. A recipe is maybe a flowchart kind of a thing. Let me show you how the recipe looks like, right? So if you are an AI engineer, and if I ask you to create a vector embeddings for certain kind of implementation using a vector database, you have to invest a lot of money to start off with, and then the AI engineer will pretty much spend more than 3 weeks just to come up with the architecture of it, and then for that to be implemented by another developer is another 2 weeks. I know I'm time up, I'm almost done. So with Workato, you can do it in maybe like what? I'll show you real quick. I'll just go say add new knowledge base, create a knowledge base. I'll say it Google, and I'll say knowledge base recipe, and I'll say create knowledge base. It's as simple as that. All you have to do is, the next step is to create a recipe. I'll name it the same. And now all I have to say is, go look into Google Drive for a specific folder, right? See how simple this is. I'm just signing in with my Google account here. Okay, the pop-up block. All right, so the gist of it is, I know I'm short on time, I'm already time up, but the gist of it is, it's as simple as that. And it's already converting this action here is conversion of your typical data, the text, into the vector embeddings, right? So that's how easy it is and how fast yet powerful it is to work with Workato. There's a lot to it. Unfortunately, I'm short of time. 30 minutes or probably 35 minutes is nowhere close to talk about the capabilities of the product today here, and also the breadth of the partnership that we have with AWS. So you can learn more. I know we are time up, so let's have some coffee, probably a couple of cigarettes as well if you're a smoker. Sorry, I don't endorse it though. So thank you.